This week on Inside Boulder News. State economists gathered to talk about Boulder's economic forecast, find out what the future holds for Boulder's economy. Mark your calendars for Boulder's Parks and Rec department-wide open house. And this new technology will help Boulder Library patrons with visual impairments. Welcome to Inside Boulder News, your source for all things Boulder. I'm Jocelyn Avendaño. The reconstruction of the Boulder Creek and Arapaho Underpass near 13th is underway and is expected to complete in the early months of this year. Some improvements to the underpass include a widening of the path and improved lighting, as well as reduced high water closures of a multi-use path. We spoke to project engineer Brian Galzoffs to get an update on the project. The Arapaho Underpass near 13th has been closed since August of last year and will remain closed through the duration of the project. Once complete, the overall safety of the underpass will be improved.
There was a lot of problems with there as far as seasonal flooding during the spring, steep grades coming into the underpass on each end, blind corners, is dark, and a little too narrow, especially considering the volume of people through this section of the Boulder Creek path.
This project will remedy a lot of those problems. Not only will the path be widened to be more ADA accessible, but new lighting will also be installed.
Current underpass was substandard. With it only being 10 foot wide between the walls, it just didn't fit the current standards. It also was not ADA accessible, not wheelchair friendly, very difficult for people to navigate through there, and the darkness made it feel unwelcoming.
Majority of the fall was spent focused working on underground work. Now with it being nearly done, staff say work for the underpass should be coming along quicker.
So we're aiming to get things more operational and functional in the spring. We're still going to have some residual work, especially regarding the landscaping that'll be extending here and there throughout the summer. Like a lot of the creek work and stream bank restoration work will probably have to wait until the end of summer when the water levels come down again.
For more information on the Arapaho Underpass project, please visit the website seen on your screen. The Boulder Public Library announced this week that it now offers assistive technology that will help visually impaired patrons use library computers at the main library. Check it out. A new desktop computer at Boulder's main library is equipped with a Fusion Professional screen reader and magnification software to help library patrons with visual impairments. There's also a USB 8-dot Braille keyboard that can be used with personal devices to help with screen navigation and messaging. Library staff encourages the community to spread the word about this new technology to help people who could use these services. More information can be found on boulderlibrary.org.
The library belongs to all of us, and that we want to make sure that we're welcoming and inclusive to all of the residents of Boulder, including folks who have visual impairments. And that's why we wanted to make sure that we offered this technology.
Join Boulder's Parks and Recreation on Thursday, January 31st for a department-wide open house. The event will feature multiple projects and initiatives all in one location for the community to get informed. Projects include the Harpic House, natural lands, as well as construction updates on the Scott Carpenter Pool. Boulder's Parks and Recreation Department has a number of different projects and initiatives currently in the works.
We know how time-consuming it can be for our population, our community, to come out and hit all these different opportunities to engage with us. So we thought, let's try and make it a little easier. Let's have one big open house.
The open house will provide community members with the opportunity to learn about projects Boulder's Parks and Rec is working on and provide feedback on them as well. One of the key projects staff is working on include the Harpic Berkheim House.
We're considering currently the future options and ownership of this house. We're entering now the third phase of engagement, and so we've kind of narrowed down and we have some kind of viable, refined options, and we want to share that with the public and see what they feel about those.
Other projects that the public will be able to go and see is the Boulder Reservoir. Staff are currently working on the long-term site plan options in which the community will be able to provide feedback.
We also have a couple projects that have already gone through the engagement process, and we're starting construction on those this summer. So that's both the Boulder Reservoir Visitor Service Center and Scott Carpenter Pool right behind me here.
The Boulder Parks and Recreation Open House will be held on Thursday, January 31st from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Municipal Service Center. More information on the open house can be found on bouldercolorado.gov/parksrec. Over 400 people gathered Thursday night at Boulder's Embassy Suites for the 12th Annual Economic Forecast, an event put together by the Boulder Chamber and its partners.
This is the annual economic forecast, and it's our opportunity to bring the community together to hear about what the anticipated situation is for our economy, but also the conditions that may impact it, so that we collectively can learn from that information and think about the policies and programs that might help to make sure that our economy remains vital for the future.
Dr. Richard Wobekind, Executive Director for the Business Research Division at CU Boulder, was the keynote speaker of the night. His overall message for the night was that there will be continued growth in the economy, but at a slower pace.
Overall, the picture is pretty positive in the sense that consumption's growing, investment's growing, government spending at least has been growing. So you have those sort of pieces pushing the economy forward. And that continues to fuel growth in employment. When we look at the big picture in terms of employment,
we expect to have just a wide assortment of civic and political leaders, as well as some of our business leadership here today hearing the same information, so that when we work together to make sure that we sustain the strong economy that we love and appreciate in Boulder, that we are thinking creatively about the policies and also the programs that will help support business success.
To learn more about Boulder's economic forecast and to access the material presented at the event, please visit bouldereconomiccouncil.org. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's edition of Inside Boulder News. If you have pictures, news tips, or events you'd like to see featured, we love to hear from you. Connect with us on Facebook and Twitter. You can also sign up to receive video updates right in your inbox. Just go to boulderchannel8.com and click on subscribe. Have a good week.